Hi, my name is Megan Lenskold. Today I'll walk you through two analyses I completed using Hamster's customer data. You asked for two things: a way to understand who your customers are based on, how they shop, and a way to make sense of the product reviews in other languages. So I'll show you how I address both. First, let's look at your overall customer stats. Your customer base spans from about 12 to 70, and the distribution is remarkably even across that range. There's no single dominant age group, which means your audience is broad, and a one-size-fits-all marketing approach likely isn't the way to go. Then, when we look at how much customers spend, it's a different story. Most customers spend under $100, and the distribution drops off sharply from there. A smaller number of customers are spending significantly more, some into the hundreds and even the thousands. To make this actionable, I used a machine learning technique called k-means clustering to group customers into four distinct segments based on their age and total spend. Here's what those four groups look like. So you'll see here, cluster two is your high value segment, smaller in size, roughly about 3,500 customers, but with a median spend around $475 and some customers spending up to 2,000. This is your most engaged high revenue group. Clusters one and three here are your largest segments, together accounting for over 50,000 customers with relatively modest spend centered around $75 to $100. This represents your volume base. And then cluster zero here sits in the middle, about 10,000 customers with median spend of around $250. Here's the takeaway. You have four meaningfully different customer types. Each one likely responds to different messaging, different promotions, and different product recommendations. These segments give you a foundation to do just that. Your second ask was about customer reviews, specifically reviews written in a language other than English. Hamster has reviews coming in from Spanish and Korean speakers, and without a way to process them, the feedback is essentially invisible. I used a built-in AI function to handle this in two steps. First, each review was automatically translated to English. Then second, the sentiment of each review, positive, negative, or mixed, was classified. So from there, I filtered down to reviews that weren't purely positive, the ones that contained real product feedback, and generated some short summaries of each. What came back was clear. Readable takeaways like zipper was somewhat uncomfortable, and colors not match product photo, and needs more pockets came up in these reviews. The result is that your team can now read and act on feedback from customers, regardless of what language they wrote it in. And no manual translation needed, no reviews falling through the cracks. So between the customer segmentation and the review analysis, you now have two tools for understanding your customers more precisely: who they are, how they shop, and what they're telling you about the products. Thank you.